This is how I will learn to code if I could start over, start over, start over. This is how I will learn to code if I could start over. For context, I have been working in the field of software development for more than 15 years. And during this time, I have worked in many countries and with big names like United Nations, NHS, CGI, and more. And now I'm going to share how I would start again if I start from scratch. But before that, let me share what I have achieved over the years. To be honest, my journey was started with C programming language. Back then, I was teaching C at a small computer center. And I will not lie, C is one of the most beautiful language I have ever worked with. In fact, many other languages are extension or adaptation of C. It is truly the mother of all languages. And over the years, I have worked with many other programming languages, starting with C and C++, followed by Pascal, COBOL, FoxPro, Visual Basic, HTML, CSS, Java, JavaScript, and finally C#. But here is a funny part. My first software development job in a software company was in ASP, Active Server Pages, a framework that I never learned. Now here is a big question. If I had to start from scratch, would I still choose C or perhaps ASP? My simple answer is no to both. But why? It's simply because the tech world has changed a lot since I started. What was popular 10 years ago is no longer relevant today. And there is one more reason. It is not about just learning, it's about earning too. Stick around and I will show you everything step by step. I will also share a simple yet powerful tip to help you grow faster and land your first job, even if you are starting from scratch. If I was starting over today, the programming language I would choose to learn is JavaScript. And here is my top 3 reasons. First reason is JavaScript is beginner friendly. JavaScript is an excellent choice for beginner because it is easy to get started with. Unlike other programming languages, it does not require any complicated setup. You can run it directly in your web browser. It also comes with a vast ecosystem of tools, libraries, and frameworks that makes development much easier. Additionally, JavaScript is one of the most widely used programming language in the world. There is an abundance of learning resources including documentation, tutorial, and a supporting community to help you along the way. And the second is JavaScript is extremely versatile. Versatile means it can be used for a wide variety of applications, including front-end development, back-end development, mobile development, game development, and even artificial intelligence and machine learning. Yes, that's true. JavaScript is capable to handle AI and machine learning projects. It truly offers a one-stop solution for building different types of applications. And here is a third reason why I choose JavaScript. High demand and endless opportunities. JavaScript is one of the most in-demand programming language in the industry. It powers millions of websites and applications, which means learning JavaScript opens doors to many job opportunities. But there is a one small challenge for beginners. JavaScript is not strongly typed language. In simple terms, this means that a single variable can hold different types of data, such as strings or numbers. While this flexibility can be helpful, it can also make it harder to spot and fix errors, especially for those who are new to programming. And another important thing to keep in mind, JavaScript is designed to handle tasks asynchronously. This means it can perform background tasks without stopping other parts of your program from running. Although this feature of JavaScript makes it powerful and efficient. Concepts like callback, promise, async, wait can seem a bit overwhelming for beginner. And with practice and right resources, these concepts are really easy to learn and become master of these. Even with these minor hiccups, JavaScript is still one of the best languages to start learning for coding. Before going further, I will set clear goals and a timetable for how I will start learning JavaScript. There is no doubt that planning is important, and definitely I will share my plan with you. But before that, one important thing. I need a good code editor. I cannot always use the browser's developer tool or a simple text pad. And it's very hard to manage large projects without a good IDE. And my choice? VS Code. It is the best open source editor out there right now. I would download it, spend some time navigating around, and explore some helpful extensions like Prettier and ESLint. The goal is really simple here, to get comfortable with the environment before actual learning or coding. And now that my IDE is ready, it is the time to set goals and a timeline. If I were starting today, here is exactly I would do it. First step, focus your resources. And the most important resource is time. I will dedicate 4 hours a day for 2 weeks to master all the core concepts, which are needed to start building real projects. I have created this PDF with a detailed plan and with 10 plus beginners friendly project ideas. If you are my subscriber, check your email. This PDF is already in your inbox. If not, hit the subscribe link in the description to download your copy. Once I know, I will dedicate 4 hours a day for 2 weeks, so my time is sorted. The second important resource is study material. We live in the information age. There is so much knowledge out there than you ever need. And my top 3 picks are websites like W3 Schools, Stack Overflow and Free Code Camp. And why I choose these sites? These are easy to use, no downloads, no complex setup required. And these platforms are incredibly hands-on. You can immediately apply what you have learned and get instant feedback, which helps you improve faster. You will know right away if your code is correct or it needs tweaking. And if you prefer to learn from videos, blogs or from books, there are countless options available today. But here one piece of advice. No matter from where you are learning, books, blogs, videos, just don't consume the content passively. Practice what you have learned. Coding is a skill that you build by doing, not just by watching or reading. I will focus on learning only JavaScript basics. And also I will include some projects in my plan, even while I'm still learning the basics. Do you know why? These projects will help me understand better and gain more experience. And once again, I will focus on only JavaScript. Pure JavaScript only, no frameworks. But why? The reason is simple. Before jumping into tools like React, Angular or Vue, it is important to have a strong understanding of the core language. Framework can simplify things, but at the same time they can hide the core concept which you need to know as a programmer. Make sense? Good. Now once again, let me highlight the thing. I will focus 4 hours a day for 2 weeks. I will not spend more than this time. I will stick to this time frame. Now you might think that is pretty short period of time. And yes, it is. This is exactly the area where many beginners fall into trap. I know because I made the same mistake. You might feel the urge to understand every single detail, take a ton of notes or memorize syntax perfectly. Don't do that. Trust me, that's a big waste of time. Try to understand the main ideas by practicing them yourself. Don't worry too much about small details. Once you have learned the basics, do not get stuck just studying or jump straight into advanced topics. Instead, start working on your first project. You can pick a project from the suggestions in the PDF or choose any other project that interests you. Here is how I would recommend selecting one. Start small. Start small, keep it simple so you don't feel lost. Second point is make it interesting or useful. It should be something that excites you or feels practical. And it's okay to build a project that already exists. You can learn a lot by making something similar. Just don't copy the code. Try to understand it and then write it yourself. Always make sure you understand what the code is doing. And this is where the real learning happens. And once again, if you are simply copying and pasting, it's a big time waste. Okay, now let's go back to the main point, how I would learn to code if I could start over. I'm going to share my complete step-by-step plan that you can follow exactly to get real results. I will begin by learning the fundamental concept of programming to build a strong foundation. And on the fundamentals, I will not spend more than 2 weeks, 4 hours a day, and then I will move on. Once I have a strong foundation, I will build a small project to apply and reinforce my learning in week 3. After my first project, I will level up by working with database and APIs. I will learn to build my own API along with the database. And once again, to avoid the infinite loop of learning, I will set a timeline of 2 weeks for this section. And next, I will spend a week learning data structure and algorithms, focusing on key concepts like dictionaries, views and heaps, graphs and big O notation to improve coding efficiency. Then I will choose a database for implementation with my project, likely PostgreSQL or MongoDB, and spend 2 weeks mastering the fundamentals and its use. There are 3 core components of a web application. The backend, it is responsible for processing user data and handling security. And the database is responsible for storing, organizing and managing data. Finally, the front end. This is the area where end user interact. And by this stage of your learning, you should have a solid understanding of all the 3 components of a web application: front end, back end and database. Finally, from week 8 onward, I will prepare my portfolio and start applying job. I realize many newbie software developers are at this stage. They have learned a lot, but they have not set up a single portfolio project. It is not just about learning, it is about implementing. So try using GitHub to showcase your code and it can serve as your portfolio. Once you have a solid portfolio, start applying for jobs. How to turn your learning into earning? Now that we have covered learning, now let's shift gear toward earning. And the most important step in this journey is your resume. Here are some key practices to create your resume. And the pro tip is one page, one column. Keep it clean and concise. Make one column and one page because you are a beginner. Don't try to make 2, 3, 5 pages resume. Even at this stage, I don't have more than 2 pages of CV. Keep it clear, keep it concise. Try to avoid summary headshot because they are not really required at this stage. And these are unnecessary and take up valuable space. Second rule is show, don't tell. Avoid vague statements like I'm a good learner. I learned JavaScript in 30 days. Instead, try to link your projects from GitHub into your resume. And then you can write, I learned JavaScript and created a web app that does XYZ. The main goal of your resume is to showcase your value. Anyone may claim with their resume, but only a few people can back them up. By highlighting your projects, you will stand out and show potential employees what you can do. And with this roadmap, you are not just learning to code, you are setting yourself up for success. Take it step by step and remember, each skill you master brings you closer to your goals. And if you think coding is harder, then I will encourage you to watch this video and it will help you to make your coding journey smooth and easy. And thank you for watching.